How Good's Footy in Asia podcast number 4. I'm your host, Matty Gale, and joining me today is Billy Bang Bang Krang in Vietnam. And we've also
Thanks,
got the junkyard dog, the captain of the Vietnam Swans in Jake Norris. Welcome first, Jakey. How you going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Cheers for having me, boys.
Pleasure to have you on board. Bill, how's things in Ho Chi Minh City over there in Saigon?
Pretty standard. I'm in the local coffee shop this afternoon. Got kicked out of the meeting room at work, so hopefully not too much traffic noise or coffees being made in the background. But I'll ride the mute button. All good.
Just got the standard Saigon toot then. So
that's footy in Asia for you. Yep.
Just check around the grounds with the weather. We just started rainy season here today in Asak, and I really don't like it at all. But how's things where you are, Jakey? Let us know where you are and what's the temperature today.
I've actually been stuck in Oz for a little bit now, boys, about 3 months with all this stuff going on. So been back in my hometown in Burra, but at the moment just on a 3-day trip to Robe with my brother and Timmy P. So yeah, just not too bad here at the moment, about 14, 15 degrees. So, yeah, not too bad.
Any crate pot action?
What's that, mate?
Getting into the craze, got the pots out of you?
Not me, mate, not me.
No, fair play. Bill, what's the weather like over your way?
Yeah, we're well into the wet season. I got caught on my scooter yesterday in a nice little storm, but we need it here. It's steaming hot before it rains, and then it's a bit fresher after that. So all good. We'll get a few wet weather footy training sessions in, and a couple of dry ones.
Yeah, I just got wind of the Singapore Wombats are restarting this week, so good luck to the Bats. They're hitting the track this week for the first time in several months. Nice. Before we get started, AFL's kicking off again tonight. They've restarted the season. Thank goodness for that. We'll start with Jakey first. What are you guys looking forward to the most with the season rebooting?
Just everything, mate. Everything about the footy. Bloody getting to a pub, having a punt, having a few beers with your mates, and just watching them go toe to toe. Really, I'm bloody excited. Fucking good.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, just happy to have footy back on the tally through the weekend, through the week, everything. Can't wait. Yeah,
I'm fascinated to see how Harley Bennell goes for your beloved D's, Bill, and Jack Higgins coming back, and Ward got the call up today. He's coming back for the Giants, so he's recovered from his knee recon. But yeah, fantastic to have footy back. And as you might have saw earlier on our Facebook post, we had one Yoshihiro Imagawa with his Saints song. So good luck, Yosh, and good luck to everyone's team this week as we reboot the season.
Yeah, bring it on.
Over to you, Bill.
Righto, Jakey. You mentioned you grew up in Burra. Can you tell us a little bit about growing up in Burra? How's the population? And you and Bud, how was your upbringing, and maybe a bit about your family?
Yeah, mate. So we moved to Burra when I was 5 years old. Originally was living in Balaclava. So Burra's only about 1,000 people. 5 pubs. Pretty quiet town. Good on a Friday and Saturday night. We used to be. I left 13, 14 years ago now. Parents are still there. So they run a 7-day-a-week antique business there called the Pharaoh's Tomb and Burra Antique Centre. So they're doing well there. And they run a animal charity, so non-profit. So they're just working hard there. And Burra's not too bad. And I was hoping they'd have a bit of footy this year, but it looks like they might have pulled the pin on their season. Yeah.
Jakey, we'll touch base about BBH in a moment, which is they play in the Northeastern Football League, and I actually played in the neighbouring league in the Northern Areas Football Association, and some of the clubs that you played against were actually closer to my club than what they were to some of the clubs we play against. So if you're keen for a kick, mate, go over and play with Broughton Mundura, the Mighty Eagles. They're going for back-to-back, and
I'll give you some
details. Yeah. So you played for, it's called BBH, so it's Burra, Boobarawi, and Hallett. I've actually got my name in the Booby Hotel, Big G, signed up there on the roof of the bar. So could you just give us some background information about Burra, Booberary and Hallett? What was it like playing for a merged club, and what's the distance between all of those small towns?
Yes. I think they merged in about 86 or 87. Originally, they were 3 separate clubs, I think, all playing against each other, and decided they're only about 30 kilometres within distance of each other. So people, I guess, moving off the farms and into the city and things like that, they didn't have as big a numbers, so they had to merge together to create one club. And so the BBH Rams, and they were fairly starved of success for a long time, and finally got up and won a flag in the late 2000s. So a good club, and unfortunately, I think they might have pulled the pin for the year, so they won't be putting a team in for the North Eastern League, unfortunately.
Yeah, I played against and with some of the guys that have come out of the BBH. What's some footballers and sports people that people might know of that have come out of the BBH community?
Well, Danny Shell, he was one. He obviously played in the AFL for the Crows and Freo, and from the town itself, I think you know Bo Wall quite well. He was a very good young footballer and a very, very good cricketer, keeper. You know a few boys, Shupan,
Yep.
you would have met at the Eagles as well, and playing in combined state sides and things like that. So we've got a few that have come through from Burra. I'm not too sure these days if we've got anyone coming through. I think, as well, Scotty Lysett, actually, he started as a kid in Burra before they moved down the Eyre Peninsula. So he's done wonders for a football career, and little club. I coached him in the Oz kick back in the day. Yeah, he wasn't as big back then. He was shorter than me, so yeah.
Onto the mighty Swannies for a little bit, Jakey. We're a 2-city team. Technically, we're as many cities as we can get team. But you being the heart of the North, how do you find, or how do you think, what are the pros and cons for the Swans as a footy club being based in the 2 locations?
You would think it'd be a very difficult thing coming together as a club when you go on match day tournaments. But it seems to gel quite well, especially the last couple of years. We've really showed how good we can be on the field with a new coach and a bit of a new structure and direction. It is quite different having your coach down in the south who's now moved to Taiwan. So them training together as a group, and then us training together as a group in the north, and not being able to interact as much as we'd like. But with Rocket, with our coach, when I was coaching up in the north, he gave, he would sort of send me a few things on what sort of drills and what sort of structures we would like to use in game day, and so it's worked quite well, and there seemed to be a pretty smooth transition when we come to game days, really.
Jakey, you mentioned that you're...
I might just jump in, Matty. For anyone who's in Vietnam or watches the Swannies from afar, we're actually getting our first competitive hit out for the year on July the 4th, and it'll be the North versus South. So we can't travel as one and take on other countries, but anyone who's ever played one of those games knows that there's not much love lost when it comes both on the field. So that'll be fun.
Games. I'm absolutely. I won't be able to play that game, mate. I've been sharpening the elbows for you, mate. But unfortunately,
yeah, we won't miss it. We won't miss you.
Jakey, you mentioned that you take the trainings up in Hanoi, and how important is it to develop the local Vietnamese players?
Mate, that's what everything about playing footy in Asia really is. I think ideally developing the local skill sets, and hopefully in the future being able to field just a full Vietnamese side would be would be brilliant for our club. So just getting him out there, we'd love to have a few more boys and girls come out and train with us. And I know down south they've got about 10 blokes that are always out at training. And you can just see from, the development of a bloke like Yanang, the talent's there. If they want to apply themselves, we're willing to coach them as much as we can and guide them to be successful footballers. So the development is the most important thing from our perspective in Vietnam.
Yeah, you're into your second stint with the Swannies. Firstly, why did you leave, and what was it that brought you back?
When I arrived in Vietnam a few years ago now, just fell in love with the country and the people, mate. Some of the most beautiful people you'll ever meet. Just hospitable, and the countryside, it's lovely. And when you as you both know, when you go overseas and you move away from your home country, it's quite difficult. But having a football club there, it's very easy to assimilate. And so for the Vietnam Swans, when I got there, they were just very welcoming, and the whole of AFL Asia. So we left. I decided to go back to Australia because I'd been away for quite a period of time, and went back for a year. And we were always planning on coming back to Vietnam. Only going to come back for another year or so again, and I just can't get enough of playing footy in Asia, mate. And we're living the dream. A cheap lifestyle, great people, great countries. Yeah, I absolutely love it, mate.
Fair enough. A couple of the Swannies have jumped on the feed already. Toddy Donovan would love to know what's your showdown prediction, mate?
Mate. Well, Toddy and I had a bet at the start of the season after we'd had a few cheeky ales, and it was a cumulative score over the two matches, and obviously I think we're only playing one match now, and it was whoever lost the bet would have to get the other's name tattooed on them.
Here we go.
So hopefully that bet's gone out the window now, because I think, if I'm being realistic, Port Adelaide should beat us quite handsomely. But being a fervent Crows fan, mate, I think we'll give them a game. Crows by 6 points. There we go. Nice.
And we'll tune back in for the outcome of that bet in a couple of weeks, couple of months probably. So what's been your best memory across the journey with the Swans?
That's a hard one, mate. There's so many good memories, developing the friendships that I have in Asia with both yourselves and just the development of the locals all through every country. But take particular pride in the development of our own local players. Having a women's team and a women's competition coming to AFL Asia has been brilliant. That's a big highlight. But on a more personal note, winning Asian champs in Div 2 last year is probably the biggest highlight for me. We'd never put it together properly in a champs, and just to get it done, the relief and the pride of actually getting over the line. Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Jake. I was actually going to test you out to see which one you actually enjoyed more. That was the three-peat of the ICC, the Indo-China Cup, or the Asian Champs Division 2. But obviously you've mentioned that. So much so that we went over to Kiro's wedding back in October, and old Jakey boy, he likes to get around the joint, and he's Bill, you're probably unaware of this. Jakey's wearing his Division 2 champs medal at Kiro's wedding. That's how much he's enjoyed it. So he's embraced it. He's embraced it more than anyone. So just on that, rumour has it that you might be the only player in Asia that's got his own footy club logo tattooed to his butt cheek. Is that correct?
Yeah, might be true, mate. Might be true.
Would you be prepared to let the viewers have a bit of a gander at it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Just with that one as well, a shout out to Ninja Inc. in Vietnam, in the north, in Hanoi. Jack and Nini for being willing to tattoo me ass in the first place. Here we go. Here we go, boys. Here we go. There somewhere, I reckon.
So there it is.
On the body.
I think. So Jakey, you and your brother Bud have played together a bit. We're actually playing together in the champs last year, and you also played a little bit for the Manchester Mosquitoes. Can you tell us how you both came to be playing over there?
Yeah, so I moved to England and I wanted to keep playing footy, and I was living in Manchester, my second stint in England, and so I got in contact with the club, the Manchester Mozzies, who play in the AFL CNE, which is the Central North England division. So they have three leagues in England. I'm pretty sure one in London, one further south, and then one in the north of England. And yeah, I just got on board and got to have a kick with the Mozzies, who are a very, very good side. They've won 6 straight now. And my brother came over about a year later, and so we got to play together over there. And yeah, played in a few winning flags up there, but it's a bit different up in the north. It's only 9-a-side, but you have to have, at the time I was playing, you had to have 3 English or Irish on the field, and you could have up to 6 Australians. Yeah.
Just on that, okay, yeah. How many premierships did Bud play? Because I've had a bit of a look at the Mosquitoes site yesterday. How many Bud collect? Did he get 2 out of the 6? You only got the 1, right?
No, I played in 3 flags with the Mozzies. Really? Yeah, wow. and one losing grand final. So we should have won should be a few more in a row. And Bud played in 6, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. He's done. Yeah.
You're talking about the borderline of where that league meets. Did you actually play in Glasgow as well in Scotland?
No, we didn't. They have a tournament up in Scotland every year, and they've got their own league as well. So every year the Mozzies like to send a team up to a thing called the Haggis Cup, and have a kick around there against the teams from Edinburgh and Glasgow and a few other teams that go over. And I think the Mozzies won it last year, yeah, or 2 years ago, yeah.
Now everyone knows you're probably the biggest Liverpool supporter in Asia, and I find it pretty conflicting that as a Manchester United supporter, you actually lived in Manchester for one. Yeah. But look, your passion for Liverpool's unrivaled within Asia. Did you get to go to any games at Anfield? And tell the viewers about some of the places and the destinations you've gone to just to watch your beloved Reds play.
Yeah, well, so living in Manchester is a bit different with obviously all the United fans there now, with the City fans. But it's only 40 miles down the road to Liverpool, so not too far to jump on a train and get over for a game. So I went to Anfield quite a few times, actually. Probably one stands out at Anfield just because of the fact that we were back in the Champions League and we were playing FC Ludogorets. And we actually, Balotelli scored the winner late on. There's a name I don't really like to associate with Liverpool. Pretty average footballer when he was there. Had a pretty average side at that time. But now, yeah, I'm lucky to have been to the last. I flew to Kiev from Vietnam, from Hanoi, to watch them play in the Champions League final. I had a ticket for that game, which was an amazing experience, even though we lost. And then I went last year to Madrid, which was just amazing. Unfortunately couldn't get a ticket for that game, but just to be there was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I love following the Reds around.
Just on that, you're a world traveller. I think I've clocked up 13 or 14 different countries. How many countries have you visited so far, and where would you like to go to next?
I haven't counted. I don't. It should be more. When I was because I lived in England for 4.5 years, it should be quite a bit more. I didn't do as much of Europe as I should have. I got stuck into the beers in Manchester a bit too much, rather than going on a few flights. But I'd be between 30 and 40, I think, at last count. A few, yeah.
Hey, Jakey, you've played a stint of footy in the heart of Australia as well. Who'd you play for, and how did you end up playing there?
So when I went back in that break from Vietnam, my girlfriend Molly, she had to do her farm work, her 88 days to get a second-year visa. And so we decided to go up to the Northern Territory. I've got some friends up in Katherine. So we went and stayed with them, and she worked on a mango farm and a watermelon farm as well. And but there's a league in Katherine, a few teams there, and so I had a mate playing at the Katherine Camels, so I jumped on the hump and had a kick of footy with them. Went close. We lost a granny, unfortunately, while I was there. It's a bit different playing footy. It's similar to Asia. It's hot and humid and sticky, but it was brilliant up there as well, because all our games that I played in were all nighttime games, so under lights, bloody brilliant. Yeah.
Jake, you'd imagine that there's a pretty high percentage of Indigenous footballers playing in that league. What was the actual percentage line? And it would have been like an armchair ride watching the flair and the natural talents of the Aboriginal players and Indigenous players. What was that like?
Unbelievable, mate, to see it. I played up earlier in my career as well, on just a stint I played at Southern Districts in Darwin when I was a kid as well. So I already knew how talented they are. We don't really have anyone like that in the North Eastern Football League, but up there, mate, it's just unbelievable. The absolute silk, mate. It's just running around. You're running around with 22, or running around with 18 Burgoynes, Sean Burgoynes, mate. It's absolute polish. I'm not sure what the percentage of Indigenous Australians in the Katherine League is, but I'd say it'd probably be close to 70%, 60 or 70%, I reckon. East side, predominantly Indigenous Australian side, they won 5 flags in a row. They were the team. They won their 5th against us, and they were just unbelievable, mate. You couldn't get near them.
Impressive.
Maddie and I had a bit of a discussion before this interview, and we were considering some of your more passionate areas outside the Swans, obviously. And I was fairly anti giving any credit to the soccer side of things, and Maddie didn't want to get too controversial or open up any wormholes on any other areas. But we both ended up holding our ground, so we're going down both the angles. Tell us about your diet and your vegan choice. How did you come to that choice? And without going too deep into it, what was maybe the initial thinking, and since then some of the awareness that you've grown in that area?
Well, my mum was vegetarian the whole time I was growing up, and so I had a big influence there. And we always had animals coming in the house, kangaroos and wombats and things like that. With mum's work with wildlife, so I already had that sort of upbringing. And then living in Vietnam, I'd always you know about dog meat and all that, the dog trade and things like that. And one day I was just like, you know what, it's no different, really. It's no different at all to what we do with sheep and cows and pigs. It's a life, and it's a lifestyle choice that's not really necessary with the amount of options we have available today to be vegans and not administer any of that cruelty and harm. So it was just an ethical choice for me, mate. I did it for the animals, and for the environment, and now my health is just improving dramatically from that as well. I lost quite a lot of fat. My recovery times for football are better. I don't get injured. Touch wood. I'm a big advocate for a vegan diet, and if anyone out there actually in Asia is interested in having a chat or just trying out a plant-based diet, I'm always only a message away. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my next point. That you're an incredible reference for anyone who wants more information in that space. So.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone out there is interested or just wants a bit of information, I'm always an open book.
Jakey, you'll have to hit me up with your own vegan-based pizza base, but Big G specials, mate. I'm in my gourmet pizzas at the moment. I also have to bring over your own cheese, but if you don't get into that, it's all right. But I've got jalapenos, sliced black olives. What else did I chuck on there? A bit of cayenne pepper and tomatoes and basil. So put the basil on the bottom. The
mate, you have your jalapenos.
So, mate, love to cook you one day. Love cooking me pizzas. But, mate, I don't eat a lot of meat anymore because my wife's basically vegetarian, but definitely helps with the weight loss. Someone that's lost about 18 kegs this year.
Yeah.
A lot of mice purely come from a plant-based diet, and you do feel like you recover a little bit more, and you get more punch out of your lunch when you go down that path. I feel like I've got a lot more energy in the afternoons, and I need that additional coffee that I thought I needed. So yeah, credit to you, mate. And if there's anyone out that would like to know more about your plant-based diet and some of the theology and ideology behind why you've made that decision and some benefits that can come from it, please touch base with Jake the Snake. So excellent. Yeah. Jake, you made the decision to move back to Burra when the COVID-19 hit. I just want to know, are you happy with the decision? Do you think it was a knee-jerk decision, or would you have rather have stayed in Hanoi? Technically I wasn't moving back to Burra. I was only going for a 2-week jaunt to work with my old man because obviously the schools had all been shut down, and I thought I'll go home for 2 weeks. You might be able to earn a little bit of coin with my old man, and then get back over to Vietnam before any borders closed. And unfortunately, I missed the boat. I got stuck. About 4 days after I got back to Australia, they shut down the borders in Vietnam, I think. So, I got stuck here. If I had my time again, I wouldn't have left. I would have stayed in Asia. I've got my partner is stuck in Hanoi. So it wasn't my brightest hour. Yeah, just on that, Molly is your partner in crime, and just gives our viewers a bit of a background as to where you met Molly and some of the crusades and countries you've been to and some of your jaunts.
Yeah, so I've been with Molly for about 6 years now, so it's a bit of pressure at the moment from a few mates anyway. Not so much Molly, which is handy for me at the moment. But so we met. She's from down south in Kent, just below London, about an hour below London. And she was at uni in Manchester. I was working in the local Australian walkabout, pouring pints and causing havoc. And I just thought, she's a beautiful girl, and I'll go and have a crack. And I don't think it came off too well the first few lines, maybe the first hour of trying to cut her ear off. She told me to piss off quite politely a few times, but been travelling around for a fair bit, and I think we've been to India and all around Asia and a few other countries, Australia obviously, a fair bit of Europe, and I think next up, we're going to actually stay in Vietnam. We were going to be leaving, but I think now we've got our heart set on staying for the future and for the next 2 or 4 years. Yeah.
Mate, you're known as a bit of a party sort of guy who loves to, passionate about everything. But one of the songs that we've been requested is Darryl Braithwaite horses. Are you able to give us a bit of a rendition, or we have to say that for another day?
Mate, yeah, I think I'm a big Dazza fan. But I get a lot of crap for the fact that for being such a big fan and being a big singer of the horses, I actually only know the lyrics. I only know I only know the chorus. So, unfortunately, and as you both got to see at Kero's wedding, it's not a pretty sight. I might with that one, yeah.
So, Jakey, what are you most looking forward to when the whole sort of pandemic effect is over? I could probably guess a few things, but yeah, what are you looking forward to on the horizon?
Right. Yeah, after this, all right. Looking forward to hopefully it's over pretty soon. Looking forward just to getting back to Vietnam, mate, and getting around the boys and girls, having a kick of footy. I can't wait to pull the Swannies jersey back on, mate, and get back into playing Asian tournaments. Seeing maybe hopefully getting a tour over to Japan. It'd be a nice one. Vietnam Swans Northern.
Yeah. Head to Osaka.
You want to make it quick?
Yeah. I'll jump into some of the feedback we've been getting. Your protege, Jace, he'd like to know your prediction for July the 4th.
My boy there, buddy. Yeah. He's come on down, Jace. Bloody awesome Irishman. With a turn of speed, I would have killed for back in my day, mate. North south. I'm not going to pump any tyres up down in the south. So north by 10 or 12 goals. Yeah. Would have been probably 15 to 20 if I was playing, mate. So
we'll see. Yoshi's on the line, and he's massively impressed by your tattoo. And he wants to know, you mentioned Hanoi's #1 tattoo parlor. What would something like that be worth? Maybe Yoshi's thinking of getting a Saints tat or a Dingoes tat next time he's in town.
Well, their rates I think start at about 2 million Vietnamese dong an hour. Lucky enough that they thought I was quite stupid to be getting the Swannies tattoo on my arse, so Nini did it as a favour, as a free job. But yeah, definitely if anyone's getting to Vietnam, they're the place to go for a tattoo. Yeah.
Yep, and we've still got some dirty laundry that Lockie's not dropping. So for anyone who's not in the Vietnamese domestic scene, the Hanoi AFLX, we play at the end of each season, and we get four teams together. It's mixed rules. We get some of the old boys' sons together. It's an incredible day that really has brought our club together to finish the season the last few years. But there's always a little bit of drama, and Jakey's normally on the end of it. So can you once and for all admit that you went up to one of our Vietnamese players, our Vietnamese star actually, instructed him to deliberately time waste and kick the ball over the fence, knowing there was no spare footies?
I cannot claim or deny that. No, it's a bloody good tournament, the AFLX. It's only been running for a couple of years. So there's 6 teams.
Stand corrected.
Not 4, 6 teams.
Sorry about that.
The Home Cam Herons, my boys and girls and kids, have won the first two titles, and Dinang was a big part of that. And he was only 10 metres out, running into an open goal, no defenders, and he decided to unload it over the fence. I won't take credit for his thinking. I don't think I said that. Maybe I think Lockie's still dirty because that was his team, and they missed out in the grand final because of that kick over the fence. But Danang won us that game. Yeah,
good on him. The horses requests keep flowing through. Even the chorus, people are happy with.
Just while we're on that, I just saw it was Ricky. I think Ricky Edridge popped up there. Doing a good thing in out of Melbourne, the Sandown Cobras. A little plug for those boys. They're looking for female players to get a females team up and going. So get on board them. They're doing a real good podcast. They had a chat, obviously, with Maddie the other day, which anyone hasn't seen, get on their page, give it a look. It's a bloody good chat. And a few other teams around Asia and around the globe. It's well worth a listen. But yeah, Ricky, I know you're a big fan, mate, of the horses, but unless there's a bit of unless someone joins me and there's a bit of music in the background.
Yeah, fair enough. Maddie, we might jump on to the tribal talks. The comments are denigrating pretty quickly.
I was waiting for one from Mozzie.
Just one more from me. You notice one of the heart and souls of the Vietnam Swans, and the epitome of you as a player was that photo that we posted up with the yesterday of you with the smother. Now, I think every tournament I've been to a couple of a few Asian champs now and an IC Cup. Every tournament I've been to, you've ended up with bandage around your head, cut, knocked out, hit from pillar to post. How many times do you reckon you've been concussed and you've had to have some stitches or some maintenance done on the scone?
It's been quite a few times that I've had a bit of claret running from the face and had to be stitched up. Concussion-wise, I know you when we won our second ICC in a row that you wanted me to get checked out for the concussion with the concussion test because I was pretty dazed walking off. But I'm not sure how many times I've been concussed or whether. I'm not sure at all. Actually, really, to be fair.
Just before we do go to the tribal sport friendly fire round, we've just got a question there from Keezy. How do you rate the standard of footy in Asia compared to England?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's quite a difficult one to ascertain, really, because in London, they didn't really. I don't know if they had a major structuring of how many players could English players had to be on the field at any one time. Not sure. And they played 18-a-side down there, whereas in the north of England we only played 9-a-side. But as the development of the locals goes, the Europeans, especially England and Ireland, especially Ireland having the Gaelic football there, are quite a bit advanced with the development of their local players, excluding PNG in Asia, in the Asian tournaments. But if I was to, I don't know, well, PNG, put it this way, PNG win the PNG and Ireland are always the two in the final in the competition in Australia, the international champs, going toe to toe. So pretty. I would say it's pretty similar. They're a bit further advanced in the development of their locals, though. I think at this stage.
Yeah, obviously this year's 2020 AFL International Cup has been cancelled, and you're right. It is PNG, Ireland, and New Zealand are the big three.
Yeah, New Zealand. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move along now to the tribal sport friendly fire round, brought to you by our AFL Asia preferred apparel provider. So thanks to Big Lakey and the team at Tribal Sport, wonderful supporters of our game. And if you're looking for some apparel supplies for your team, please contact them through us. Over to you, Bill. Hand pass front and square.
Righto, Jakey. Run us through any of the nicknames that have come up throughout your footy career and off the field too, I guess.
My nickname, sorry, or
yours? Yep.
Yeah.
If you've named anyone, you can give us a rundown of them too.
You can throw them under the bus as well.
Ginger Nut, Burra, Norris.
Ginger Nut.
Yeah. I used to have a nice bit of colour in my hair at one stage. Didn't quite get the blonde tips that I wanted. It was all ginger.
Okay.
Fortunately, when I was a kid, younger fella, didn't look too good. Burra.
Yep.
Obviously, being from Burra and the only bloke. One of my mates. He met me my first night at university, and he said, "Well, what's your name?" I said, "Jakey." He said, "Oh, that's a shit name, mate. Where you from?" And I said, "Borough." And he goes, "Well, now I'm going to call you that." Like, fair enough. And 3 years later, at university, one of my good mates come up to me and goes, "What's your real name?" I go, "Oh, Jesus, that's bloody bad." But anyway, and Norris, just my last name, really.
Yep.
I don't know if there's a few more names for me after the
not to your face.
The Junkyard Dog, apparently, as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And got Chuck Norris before?
Yeah, I've got Chuck a few times. Yeah, a fair few times.
Mate, what clubs have you played for? We've been through at least one handful so far. Any others that we don't know about?
Iron Bank and Cherry Gardens Football Club up in the hills in Adelaide. Yep. The Townies, so Edwardstown Football Club in the amateurs. A few mates there. I pulled on the boots actually for the Hamburg Dockers for one game in Europe there, and I played for a club only one game. I don't really like claiming it, and if they're watching this, they're bloody not the greatest club. I'm gonna give them a bit of stick, but Rosewater.
Okay.
Oh, rough.
They were a rough team. They got kicked out of the league, I think, a year or two after I played for them. So, yeah, don't really like claiming that one, but anyway.
Fair enough. How many years have you been playing in Asia?
In Asia, all up about 3 years, all up, I think. Yeah, 3 years.
This one, what's your favourite position?
What are we talking, mate?
Fair point. On a footy field.
On a footy field. I love playing the guts, mate. One of the halfbacks flank. But if I had my way, mate, I think you should put me up at full forward, mate. I'll kick you a bag.
Out of the goal square.
Out of the goal square, mate.
What's your number?
Gee, I don't even know what my number is anymore. I think I'm running around with the number 5 at the moment.
And who's your AFL team?
Yeah, the Crows.
Righto.
Less said the better, mate, at the moment. I mean,
don't laugh, Bill.
Yeah, I'm not laughing. Okay. Best player in the AFL, in your opinion? Player or players?
Oh, mate, hard to look past a bloke running around in the yellow and black. I think Dusty Martin, mate. I think a couple Paddy Cripps as well at the Blue Baggers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And who would you say your best ever teammates? Teammate or teammates? You can name a few.
Jeez. All of them, mate. All of them.
Yeah. Well done. This one you can't dodge. Most annoying teammate.
Kero.
Bang.
Most difficult opponent.
Most difficult opponent. In AFL Asia, probably he used to run around for the Philippine Eagles, and he was a pretty handy player. Probably Sparks.
Yeah.
In AFL Asia.
Yep. What's your favourite meal?
Mate, I'm a big tofu fan, mate. So a bit of probably not how you say it, but anyway.
No, that's how you say it. I have to eat it for the school lunches, and I cannot stand it.
Oh, I love it.
Mate, are you a scruncher or a folder?
I'm a folder, mate.
Cats or dogs?
Scrunchers. What was that?
Cats or dogs?
Bit of both.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Now, you're pretty well travelled. What's your favourite holiday destination?
Jeez. I think all the boys are pressing me to say Pattaya, but I'd have to say holiday destination anywhere in Asia.
Yeah. You can invite 4 people for a vegan meal. Who would you invite?
Joaquin Phoenix, just because he's he's a vegan lad. But then probably a bit of a laugh. Might get around Warney, Mike Tyson, and Prime Halle Berry.
What's your what do you like most about playing footy in Asia?
Just the camaraderie, mate, and just the trips, getting around with your mates, having a few beers and having a laugh. It's always good fun. Yeah.
Yep. What about 3 things that people may not already know about you? Be tough after this last hour.
Would know about me. Jesus. I don't know. I think you've covered most things there.
Yeah, we've dug pretty deep.
Yeah.
So, mate, how do you see the footy of the future? Of footy in Asia. So, what sort of impact do you think AFL Asia can have on Asian communities?
Mate, well, the work that's being done at grassroots level, I mean, just the ability to hopefully get a few more teams full of locals in the future years at the International Champions Cup in Australia. So just the development of the locals and just the work at grassroots with charities. Really, I think that's a big thing that we've been doing really well, and it's just in all Asian countries it seems, and hopefully it goes from strength to strength, and we can have a bigger impact like Jack did the other weekend, raising all that money for in Bali.
Yeah. So that's the end of the Tribal Talks Friendly Fire. But Ninja Inc., Jack at Ninja Inc. is very happy with the plug. He's offering Swannies tattoos for free. So Yoshi or anyone out there, if you're traveling through Hanoi, go in and get your ass covered up. And the Sandown Cobras were pretty happy with their call out too. So yeah, good on them with all their podcasts they've done throughout Asia, especially in the COVID period.
Yeah, big congratulations and well done to the Sandown Cobras Football and Netball Club. Really thankful for having the opportunity to get on one of their podcasts myself. But I think they recently got recognised by the Herald Sun, so kudos to them for their involvement and stretching out into a new market and right across Australia, right across Asia, Europe and Americas as well. So well done. Jakey, do you have any messages for anyone that is watching right now or may watch in the future?
Just look after yourselves. Take care. If you please advocate Black Lives Matters. Big important thing that's going on at this moment in time. It should have been happening a long time sooner. If you need any information on veganism, give me a shout. Always advocating that. And if you're travelling around South Australia or Australia, get down to Barra, say good day at the moment, and hit up me Ferris Turn Barra Antique Centre, the old man's shop. We'd love to see you. Yeah.
Brilliant, Jakey.
Cheers to you boys as well for this, and I appreciate all what you're doing with this with the AFL Asia podcast as well. Bloody great.
Nice, mate.
Thanks very much, Jakey. We'll leave it at that. Thank you, everyone who's been online and your comments and your interaction. We really appreciate that side of it, and we look forward to further interaction with our podcast in the future. Thanks to everyone out there who's viewed today's podcast of Jake Snake Norris and anyone else who wishes to watch it in the future. It's been a riveting hour or 50 minutes, and we're really thankful for your time. So thanks to everyone out there. Take care, and hopefully footy's back in your neck of the woods very soon. And thank goodness it's back on our TV screens tonight. And all the best to you and your team this weekend as footy reboots for season 2020. Thanks again, Jake.
Cheers, boys. Cheers for having me.
Thanks, Billy Bang Bang Krang.
Thanks, Matty.
All right, thanks, guys. And this has been AFL Asia, How Good's Footy in Asia podcast 4 with Jake Norris. Thanks for viewing, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Thank you, and bye for now.
Go you, Swannies.